Hey guys, Susan here. Hey, okay, so I recorded this video yesterday that I had planned sharing with you guys about the journaling process. And it's very ironic. As I was editing this video, I just thought, you know what, I just really wanted to quickly set the premises that it's very interesting that sometimes we compare ourselves to designers or creatives and we think that wow, they're just so creative. I wish I was creative, or I wish I could do that. And, you know, just really trusting in that creative process as I expressed before, but you don't always get it right the first time, as you're going to see in this video as I go through it. And I just kept recording. I just kept recording it because I really wanted to share that with you guys, that sometimes you don't get it right the first time. And even the best of the best designers have mistakes. And so, you know, you don't always see those mistakes, but we definitely do, all of us. And so just trusting in that creative process, but also knowing that you're not abnormal. And sometimes you decide on a pattern, you design on a journaling tip or something, and it doesn't work out. But I do love the thought of creative problem solving that we all have. And so anyways, here's the video. I hope that it's helpful. I'm just gonna go right into it so you guys can see it. Hey, so I wanted to walk through some thought processes I was having regarding journaling on this page. And I thought, you know what, I might as well just record it and share it so that you can really see the full, true process that I was going through. So I wanted to add some journaling, and I thought about adding some journaling here, and I have expressed this in the past, but personally my handwriting is not the best. Like, I really try to avoid writing like floating journaling on a page, just because it's really prevalent. And anyways, with that said, I absolutely love journaling on my pages. Often I'll use little journaling cards and have like a location for them with the lines. This case, I don't really have on this layout a specific space. Like, there is no space for it, but I still think that I want to include a couple little thoughts, right? And so when it comes to that, often what you could do is add journaling, like you could add some journaling along this lines, or, you know, down here. But this would be a great spot to add some journaling, not really too abrasive, kind of flows with it, doesn't take away, doesn't stand out. But if journaling is just kind of a side thing for your personal thing, it's not like a main component of your design, then finding different ways to add it to the layout itself instead of having like huge components dedicated straight to journaling. So that would look like something like, I'm just gonna write it in pencil, right? So, have a great day. I'm just writing whatever. But just to kind of give you that visual of what I mean when I'm saying, you would just write it following the lines of the designs of any border. So that's always something to pay attention if you're looking for somewhere to have journaling. Another place is looking for little pockets. So for example, this little pocket here, right offside, this indentation of your photo could be a little great place to have a great day. I don't know why I'm saying great day, but I'm gonna stick with it, right? So you could add a little note there. It has a little pocket, great way to kind of tuck that in. Again, you would write it in pen. I'm writing in pencil for the sake of demonstration. So for my layout, I decided to actually take advantage of this spot right here. One, it's because it's a light color, so whatever I journal on will definitely show up. So I'm gonna kind of just focus in on this spot. So I started, and then I said, you know what, I should record this. So here I am recording it. Now I'm using, of course, I pulled out the doodle sheets that also are very helpful when it comes to journaling. If you are a bullet journaler, these are also awesome for that. Anything, don't limit them. don't limit creativity, use them as you wish. But with that said, I am pulling on this, right? And I wanted to make it more of a design journaling focus. So for me, I'm going to really focus on making it a little bit more design focused with my journaling. So to start off with, I started and I thought, you know what, no wait, I'm going to want to do a scrap of paper, because again, that's the best way to really make sure that you're getting the correct spacing and all of that done before you mark on your page. So this is literally just a scrap of paper that I had from my project. So I'm going to kind of format it kind of in the space that I want to journal. So let me kind of get this cut up really fast. Doesn't have to be perfect, but just to give you an idea of what I'm thinking here, right? And it's a little too much space. So that is the space that I'm okay with consuming as far as my journaling goes, all right? So now it comes down to what to journal about. So you wanna have like an idea. Often what I'll do is I will pull up my phone and just text something. It's easy to type up something in the notes. You could absolutely just write, you know, grab another scraps of paper and kind of get an idea of what you want to say first. Then at that way you can kind of figure out the spacing of that wording. So let me quickly do that really fast. So these were some pictures of me and my daughter when I just got home from work and she wanted to hang out. She wanted to snuggle. So we went out into the backyard, and then of course she decided to take some selfies since we were hanging out. And then this little guy showed up in random spots in the pictures, and he was basically photobombing us. Gotta love it, right? A 5-year-old photobombing. So let me write something really quickly about that. Okay, so I quickly wrote that up on a sheet of paper. Of course, you can type this up, whatever you want to do, but just an idea of what you want to express. Okay, so now that I have this and my doodle sheets, I'm going to try to figure out how I can adjust to formulate this onto the space that I have. So I'm first going to do a tester. So relaxing on the porch with medicine after a long work day, exactly what I needed. Oh, and with Eli, so, right? Okay, so I'm thinking I'm going to, so I just want to take a quick look at these and see if there's any elements that for sure I want to use. I could do the exclamation here at this point. I could absolutely just bracket them in like this. I did want to point out Eli, so you can see how I already adjusted and added an arrow. So I, of course, can erase this. I could do the arrow this way, but I really wanted to point him out in the picture. So I want to make sure that, because you barely miss him. He's just kind of, he was in the backyard running in the lawn when we were taking pictures, but every once in a while decided to come over and jump in and stick his tongue out. Classic little photo bomb there, right? Okay, so you don't want too much. You want it to still be clean, or I personally, that's something to pay attention to, because sometimes it's easy enough to just kind of, you know, it's like the mentality of sticking stickers all over. Same thing with doodling. You can go too excessively if you're not careful. All right, so definitely think this is really pretty and can match the vibe here that I got going on. I love these little arrow elements, just little basic things. I like the thought of having this little bracket here. So I'm going to put that there first. And I definitely like the thought of the arrow coming down. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on there for the time being. Exactly where I have it before. And then we'll go ahead and start writing it out a lot cleaner, a lot smaller, to make sure that it fits. Okay, so now that I have a concept that I want to accomplish here, like I said, I already have the arrow. So I'm gonna start here with Eli, and I'm gonna make sure that's really tight, nice and tuck in there. Okay, so that's nice and tucked there, in there, and then I'm going to add this little bracket here at the top. So again, right there above that dot that I added, and that's going to give me my starting point right here. So relaxing. All right, so there is my journaling for this page. And I'm just going to clean off my eraser really fast to make sure it's good and clean. And do a light erasing to get that pencil off. I have my journaling on my page. Okay, guys, so in complete honesty, when I stepped back and I looked at it, I told you guys I have my personal handwriting has to be very specific, and unfortunately, when you look at this page, it's not cohesively going with the page. So that's okay. That's the creative process. You learn to adapt and find another creative solution. That is why creativity is seriously amazing for us, because it makes us creative problem solvers. So I am going to adjust here. And I thought, again, I'm going to show it to you full on. I think it's important because a lot of times we see the aftermath, but we don't see the process to get there. And so when we run into issues, we're like, oh, I don't like it. Why doesn't mine? We think that that's like the end result of all these awesome pictures, right? But no, not all the time. It is a process for all. No one is excluded from creative process. So, relaxing on the porch with Madison after a long work day. I think I'm gonna go to this option because it won't be as in my face. Well, it's not that it's bad that it's in the face, it's just very, like, it's taking away. And again, I'm extra judgmental. We all are on our handwriting, so I feel like it's taking away from the rest of the page. And yes, the page to me is more than just the pictures. It's the pictures with my creative expression, with my words. They are all very important to me. So I like when it's cohesive and not like focus driven. Unless again, your focus driven is the story and the journaling, which is going to be more prevalent on your page. In this case, that was not my goal. That was not my goal. Okay, so I'm just cutting a little blue strip from my scraps that I'm probably going to just put right over that. I will ink this edge and the top edges, but not that bottom edge, because I'm going to readjust that. So I'm going to do that first to make sure that it works logically. And you know, it doesn't take long sometimes for these adjustments. I did just lose out on all of those beads, most likely. I'll have to start new on those, but just kind of give you a visual what that looks like. If that bothers you, then I would recommend that you put a little strip and it will become part of your design. And somebody will think initially that was all the plan. It wasn't. It wasn't. Okay, so let me do that really quickly. Guys, sometimes this happens. And so creative problem solving is a natural thing, part of the creative process. So don't think that you're abnormal if you're like, man, I don't like this. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you don't like it and you have to adjust and try something else, right? So we're gonna cut that off here, add a little ink, and adjust that. I'm actually thinking maybe another strip to really make it feel like it was intentional. Yep, I think so. Another strip will be really pretty. I think pulling that yellow up too on the layout is actually a fun mistake. Otherwise, I would have never had been forced or pushed towards looking at it a different way. Okay, so I'm going to do my journaling right here. So I'm going to cut out one of these arrows. Cut that out. Using my smaller scissors is where this comes in handy. They're just a little bit more fine point. Okay, so I have the journaling, and then I put Owen with Eli in between. I feel like that actually brings a lot more focus to it. So now I'm just trying to decide if I want to cluster a little bit more flowers up there. I don't know if it needs it. I mean, I think the flowers are adorable. So the question is, do they need the flowers or not? I also like the idea of adding a little banner down here that says relax, just because I put relaxing on the porch. So basically I would just trace that out as well. So I would just take my scraps of paper, and then you can use these as doodling sheets, but you can also of course use them as little stencils. And then you would just trace it out. Now when you go to cut it out, see how thin that is? So what I recommend is you would just extend it a little. So use it as a guideline, right? So I'm going to use it as a guideline, but on that top portion, I'm going to actually add a little bit of a strip to it, like so, and then cut out the little details. And I always do kind of like one focus, and then I go back and do the other ones. So these little details could, if you're going to use the doodle sheet as little stencils too, they're smaller, so maybe a small pair of scissors will come in handy. I don't use these often, but cutting out these little stencils actually is helpful to have a little pair of scissors. So usually with the other designer templates, I don't really have a need for these, but I'm kind of glad I had them on hand. And just to kind of show you the size difference. So those are a little bit smaller for more smaller details. And then I'm gonna erase those just a little bit because I had that trace line at the top. Super careful not to rip that. And add a little ink. Kind of just like a messy look on top. You'll probably get more ink on your hands with these little ones than you will on the thing, but just gives it a nice finished look, like so. And I'm thinking just adding it as a little extra element, kind of there. Gives it that really nice porch look, and it balances that from that side. I could put relax on there. It's super small. Relax. If I wanted to add a word, I'm trying to decide if it's needed or not. I kind of like it. I think I will. So I'm going to add that. I'm going to make them all capitalized now that I'm looking at it. Erase the excess. Add add some adhesive. Okay, wow. I told you guys that it was a process. So here's my finished layout. Yeah, after, something that I was like, oh, 5 minutes, took about 20-30 minutes to figure out how to make just the journaling happen. So journaling along the page, it's cohesive, it's supporting my pictures and my design, which is ultimately kind of what I was hoping to express to you, that unless yours, like a story, like a legit story that you're telling through journaling is a main component of your page, like it takes, a lot of times I'll have like a big circle with lots of journaling or something like that. Then I like, if I'm not trying to accomplish that, then of course, if I'm just adding a little journaling, I do like that it's cohesive with my pictures, with my design, with my journaling. Not that one is over the other, that it just blends and works cohesively together. So that's why I ultimately changed it. And you can see that that end result is a little bit closer to what I was hoping to, what I was trying to accomplish. So it's there, it's documented, but it's not like, first glance, that's what you zoom in. And maybe I was zooming in on it because, again, it's my handwriting, but that's what I felt, was like, wow, now all that stands out is like this big black hole was the journaling up there, and I didn't like that. So anyways, so here's the finished layout, of course, and hopefully this thought process has helped you, and not necessarily, big, grand, mind-blowing ideas, but just more of a trust the process. We don't always get it correct the first time, and that's okay. And use that creativity that we all have, I believe that, all inherently have, to also help you creative problem solve when necessary. So, all right, guys, well, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.